Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hey, 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 hey. That was the wrong button. Okay. Enough of that. Oh my gosh. Okay. I forget my sensory levels are so sensitive, so I gotta turn it down as I'm playing loud music. Anyway, all right, y'all. Welcome back. We are back at it. Welcome back to Dissect the Dialogue. We back at it again with another video. Again, if you are new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. Oh man, I got some things to share with y'all. Make sure I get my stuff up now. Been a crazy few weeks, I'll say that now. I don't know why I was going off in my head. I was thinking like, am I doing too much? I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm doing a lot of things, which I'll mention later on in the show. Then I had to go back on my other channel. I'm like thinking like, oh, did I skip this day? Then I'm thinking like, I think I did this like a week and a half ago. I'm thinking like I'm behind or something, but that's what happens when you're a workaholic. But that's the life we live in. But anyway, this is episode 108. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Now, breaking news. Everybody's talking about it. Some people are happy about it. Some people are not. Kendrick in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent about it. I mean, I can kind of get confused like why people get offended at certain things. It's like they pick and choose on what they're upset about. Stuff that people need to be focused on and seeing the problems with, they don't care. But then when it's silly stuff like this, or even like the situation like with Beyonce, she didn't get nominated for any country music for the CMAs. But I'm thinking like, when did y'all even care about that stuff until Beyonce started? You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the selective outrage, which is really annoying. And it's like it's giving me a headache as I think. Well, I actually kind of do have one, not just figuratively. But yeah, it's just annoying. They're saying Jay-Z has something to do with it. They're saying he has something to do with Lil Wayne not coming. And something I also want to bring up too. What's up with people trying to get property in New Orleans all of a sudden? Because I can recall, it's funny, like, I recall people with, well, it's nothing to recall. I mean, this is my take on it with the Hurricane Katrina thing that happened way back when. I still think to this day, Hurricane Katrina was just not as big as what people were making it. What I mean by that is, with the levee, something broke. Someone must have hit some button or something to where most of the black neighborhoods flooded them out and pretty much just said, "Get y'all's asses out of here." Now, what? Almost 20 years later, people are starting to buy properties out there. Don't know. We'll leave that discussion for another day. But also, legend gone, James Earl Jones, man. He was 93, man. I think I remember what was the first thing I saw with James Earl Jones, man. What was the first? I'm trying to remember the first damn movie. I remember Coming to America, but for him, it was always his voice to me. His voice always stuck out to me. Stuff he did, like with Star Wars, of course, Lion King. He had like all the classic ones. When I did my research, looked up some stuff. He was like a goat in theater. I was looking. He was like a real Shakespearean. Like, I mean, them plays where you gotta like memorize like a Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter amount of dialogue. Like he was in that caliber. Definitely up there with like the best of the best. A lot of you very respected. Lived a long life too, man. I kind of like when people like trying to say, "Oh, he was just this age." I'm like, man, lived a long life. Like, what more can you like? Look up his credentials. I mean, dude did a lot and overcame a lot, especially being a person that struggled with speech. Now, I never had a stutter, but I, as a child, I was like put in like speech classes and all that. So I kind of understand, being afraid of your own. It's kind of like knowing what power you have, but then realizing how powerful it is, and you're kind of like afraid of it in a way. But then once you tap into it, it's like it's like a superpower. So I kind of get him on that level. But long live one of the greats, man. But let's get into some major topics now. I think this is like because it wasn't like a main thing that I wanted to say, but it's just something that was kind of personal that I want to mention. I mean, with the loss of B King and Rich Homie Quan just passed also, uh, you know, supposedly overdose. Then Fat Man Scoop is like, and again, this isn't just okay. I'm being objective, of course. Y'all know how I am, but it's almost like we don't really take good care of ourselves, and I don't know if it's just because how we were built, how we was built upon, how you know what we endured. I don't know what it could be, but I know is that we don't really take stock of our help until it's too late. We make excuses, we say all these things, and it's very sad if you think about it because this is what I was just pulling up. Let me pull it up real quick. Where's it at? There we go. Here we go. I don't know if how it's looking on your screen. If I shrink, y'all just let me know. There we go. They were saying that when it comes to these are all the different health things. When it said heart disease, it says 40% of black men die prematurely from heart disease compared to 20% white, right? Almost 40% of black men 20 years or older are obese. And then 44% are considered overweight. Then I know women, y'all heard me mention about women being 80%, so I won't dive into that. Uh, Black men are 9 times more likely to die from AIDS and HIV related illnesses. Black men have a higher incidence of a higher rate of death from oral cancer. And these last few are shocking too. It says black men have a high suicidal rate, which is the third leading cause of deaths in 15 to 24-year-olds. And mental health, 25%, 1 out of 4. Just so y'all know, that's 1 out of 4 as compared to their white counterparts, which is 40%. Then it goes into the other things. Now, it's really like a tough subject to get into because not a lot of people want to dive into it. But I'm not like most of people in my congregation. I know a lot. I might get my black card revoked. I'm gonna sound like a little bit Uncle Ruckish. I want to try to paint that picture on me, but I'm just speaking my truth. I'm just speaking my truth. And the topic of the question for tonight, I might add too. Is health in the black community an issue? Health. I'm not just saying, I mean everything, not just one thing. Health, overall health, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Why is this such an issue for us? Why do we choose to not have healthy lifestyles? Why do we like to be consumed in toxicity and poison and pain? What is our obsession with it, right? Because, growing up and, I'm trying to dead this word, but y'all get what I'm saying. I can't think of anything else besides blackness. But growing up in that household, growing up, the cultures that we're accustomed to, the different practices that the traditions and all that, um, the way we communicate, how we interact with one another, how we go about different things in life, how we maneuver, um, especially in as of now. I don't know how it was back then, but especially now, um, there's no unity. You know, there's no camaraderie. It's not we're not in a community that we're in. It's not a community of love and warmth. It's not a community of embracing, uplifting. Everything's competing, judging, hating on the next man or woman because they're doing X, Y, Z. But at the same token, complaining, bitching, and moaning about why we can't get ahead. Well, the enemy's right, the person in the mirror. I mean, of course, you can say, how with slavery and all that, and who taught us, but it's come to a point where, at one point, our struggles weren't a problem, they weren't an issue because nobody really wanted to know about our issues or cared about our issues. Now it's just we're almost like the people that we're becoming the people that we hated. We're becoming the people that we don't like. We're becoming the people that we never wanted to encounter with, do business with, imitate. We're embodying that toxicity. And I think at times, especially when it comes to creating a healthy family structure or a healthy community, it's almost like nobody wants to take part of it. But what causes us to not take stock in our health until it's too late? Again, the four I mentioned. Because when it comes to physical health, we make all the excuses in the world of why we don't take stock in physical health. Again, I'm not saying everybody in our community doesn't, but we've all heard this from uncles, aunts, grandparents saying what stuff we have in our bloodline, what runs in this family, what flesh eating virus runs in our family. Heard all this nonsense and we just was forced to eat it up. But really, most cancers, most diseases are essentially self inflicted. Sometimes what you eat may not even cause it. It could be just how your lifestyle is. You know, emotions sometimes come back with the emotional. Sometimes the emotional health, whether it could be anger, bitter, sadness, whatever, gluttony. Sometimes, it's like the old phrase, someone dies from a broken heart. Well, that's more than just like a figure of speech. Like sometimes life can like certain people when they pass away, sometimes so much pain and anguish literally cause their heart to be burst or break. Like people think that these expressions are just expressions. Like it's real stuff. You got the emotional, right? Then the mental comes. Now the mental is a tricky because nobody can really see the mental. People can see the physical. People can see, if your health is not up to par or is not you're not functioning with your body. Emotional, they can see if you're, all over the place, scattered. But mental is tricky because you can think that a person is all the way happy, living good because what you see, what they have, what they're able to accumulate, how they present themselves. You could think they're okay, but really they're like in a mental prison. But what we're taught is, there's no such thing as depression, or you better depress those chores or whatever. It's like we're taught to not, engulfing means that, especially men. Men, we're really my my take. I think I think society, whether we're doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing, I don't think us as men, I don't think society like us. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the envy. I don't know if it's just the straight disgust. But it's like no matter what, good or bad, we can never catch a break. Somebody's always going to find something up. Of course, the women. Don't get me wrong, the women too. But so I think that also adds on to the mental stuff, like always being seen as less than because other people see you as less. I mean, you go to in school, like every time you see people that that has my same skin tone, I'm only seeing them, treated like animals, shackled up, like put in cages, and school systems already don't really take stock in, black students unless it's sports, to be honest. So you put that, and then this, it's constantly being shown on TV that the only thing we can achieve in life is to. That's why most families like. It's like you say that you want your child to do this, but be able to go to school, all this, but never telling them how to manage money, never tell them how to, take stock in how to learn certain skills, get a trade before you even decide to spend tens of thousands of dollars, even hundreds of thousands of dollars on college. We're not taught those things. I think with other families, their foundation of how they put into what they put into their kids, everything's always long term. It's legacy, it's investment, it's growth over time. You know, some certain things sometimes when you grow like a flower, you grow or growing plants, growing crops, you know, it takes time. You gotta put the right stuff into it. You gotta nourish, gotta make sure you're not watering too much. Find out if it needs sunlight, find out if it needs moonlight, find out these things. I believe, I could be wrong though, but for certain functional families, you know, even if they have their issues, I think that alone, some sort of that is always pushed in. That's just what I see. I know for a fact that's what I see for the most part. That's not saying that they don't have their ways, but that's what I see objectively. But objectively, when I see in our community, the things that's put onto us, that's put like that's in our mindset is surviving. We don't have time to save this. Don't have time to make investments. Don't have time to, you know, wait for this. We need this now because if we don't, we're not gonna. It's like we put ourselves into a poverty stricken, poor mindset. But instead of trying to change something about that, it's almost like we're afraid to even, reach that level of like being stable and being functional. It's like we want to have. It's almost like we're stress junkies. We're chaos junkies. Like we like pain junkies. All that. All those junkies like we like pain. Everything that's considered healthy. Oh, and then of course you go into spiritual where uh, everybody can relate. I don't think religion was given to us like, hey, this is what you need to learn. Learn about God, learn about his son, learn about this. It was more so like, learn this or you're going to burn in hell till your jaws fall off and then that's it. I think how we was taught religion, it was always fear-based. It was always a scare tactic. But that's what I believe. And then also when you try to like do things in a healthy way, people always frown upon you on it. Like, why is everything that's considered, healthy or good for, the body? Why do people always call it like quote unquote white shit? Why is it always white shit when it's stuff that's supposed to be helping you? Why is it always white stuff when you how you dress or how you speak or how you present yourself. I always think about that scene in Malcolm X. Y'all know, y'all remember when Malcolm was in jail and then Baines was trying to read him the dictionary and then he stopped on read what white means to read what black means. I think, and because everything's mind control, yin yang, all that, uh, I believe that people use those words, and I think it's intentional why they did that as a whole. And I think people use those words because it's obvious that it's like a mind control tactic. Because why would they call a certain race clean, wholesome, good, but why would they intentionally call a race uh, evil, whatever, dark, gloomy, dirty, untrustworthy? And that's what was shown in that movie. Like, why would they intentionally do that? But it's bad because it's almost like we're becoming, some families actually become the definition of what that is. And I know I keep saying that. I know I keep saying that, but I want to try to say something where I take it out of my head, get it out of my brain, and call something. Well, I do kind of. I use Aboriginal. I still use that. I just use what I know. I don't say like African American. I don't use that term. I don't. I don't get into that stuff. But yeah, like even my girlfriend, she's a vegan. Uh, family was on the neck talking about you eating white people's shit, white people food. Meanwhile, and these are women too. Meanwhile, they 5 foot nothing, 250 pounds, but talking about her because she's on the lighter side. I'm like, really? That's. But it's always like that. Men too. Like, why you wearing that? That's white people shit. That's all you like the white boys because you dress like this. Or like when it comes to sports, like you play like a white person. Like it's just silly stuff. Like how do you play like a white person? Like because I go use fundamentals because I think about what move to do next before I don't know. It's just nonsensical crap. But the last question of the night that I have, and this really wraps up everything that proves my point about how we don't want to remain in a healthy mindset. Do we love destruction? Why is it that when it comes to what the TVs, movies, the conversations that we have, the things that we soak up, why are we engulfed with things dealing with destruction? I believe that, like I said, because of how what we endured in our history, I think that because we try so hard to do better, then something always stops us from doing it. I believe that a lot of us don't want to build because it's too much work. It feels good to bust a window out of a car. It feels good to destroy a convenience store. It feels good to do those things because it's easy. It's tough to build a house from scratch. It's tough to apologize to somebody and actually mean it and not try to buy some food or shoes in order to escape from apologizing. That's tough. The other stuff is easy. And that's what I think is going on. I like to make the equivalent of like a pig that wallows in mud, gets rinsed out, gets a bath, and then goes back in the mud. That's our problem right now. We want to do right, but it feels good to do wrong. Or it feels good to stay where we're at because it's not much of a challenge. It's cool to be the victim. Not saying that we didn't endure a lot, but it's cool to be a victim. It's cool to complain about what went wrong or what are we not doing wrong, or it feels great to have something to wear as a badge of honor and then just be like, I'm a victim of this, I'm a victim of that. It doesn't, but saying, yeah, that's what society thinks of me, but I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. They're gonna look at you crazy. Like I remember seeing some too. It was like I think they were saying how you know men in the black community. They were saying how people will make fun of somebody that does something like what Jeff Bezos does, or Warren Buffett, or Mark Zuckerberg. If someone in the community was doing that, they'll force them to play a sport and saying you're corny, but will kiss ass to these Caucasian men because they did something that was now considered groundbreaking and innovative. But there could be somebody that looks like me that could do that right now, but they don't have the right stuff for them to grow. They don't have the right nourishment. Like I said, we want to rather destroy something beautiful than build something that starts off kind of rough. You know, quick to break like a pretty vase, or quick to break this window. But building something from the ground up is too much. It's too much work. No, I don't want to do it. No, it's too much money. Oh, this, that, and there. It's like everything's excuses. Like, and I think that's where, I mean, like we don't have a healthy mindset. Everything is always. And another thing I blame too is the stupid hustle culture. And I think that hustle culture was intentionally put on us as a people because we're the only morons that want to talk about that. It's like, yeah, it's cool, grind for what you, but you grind to make sure your kids is great, not just to fulfill your selfish needs and wants. Because every time I see, like, the stuff with that them PPP loans, you think they still got that money? You think they still have those cars? Hell no. It's all a joke. It's all smoke and mirrors, you know. But let's get into some final thoughts before we get out of here. Get into some final thoughts. Now, I think in order for us to be better as a people, I think we got to stop getting in our heads about, you know, what this amount of money can do, what this, how this can fulfill us. Because once people get that money, or once people get what they want, they're still not satisfied. Something doesn't click in. It's like you get all that money, but yet you still want to have a poor mindset. It's like you're getting all this money just to hurry up and spend it just so you can be poor again. You say you want to change, your lifestyle, like change how you talk to people, but you keep making excuses saying, "Oh, well, that's how I was raised, X, Y, Z." And I don't want to make this just a straight up, strictly talking about the black community. I'm not doing that, but I mean, when you're seeing 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds getting killed or killing people, it started to make you think like somebody's raising these kids. They ain't raising themselves. Or come to think about it, maybe they are. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we gave up on that too. Maybe we actually gave up on parenting because what we were doing back then wasn't that. It's like there was already half-ass parenting back then. Now we just letting the kids do whatever. Yeah, I ain't got much to say about that. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Y'all think is health, overall health, issue in the black community? Let me know what y'all think. Like I said, I might leave a poll in there, but other news, got some good things going on. Hold on, let me turn this down real quick. Got some other good stuff in the works. So y'all already know I be in my thespian bag. Still got some things penning up, but I also Got a gig for a TV show. I also, why doesn't this clap thing ever work? It never works. Now it's like now I'm on. I'm gonna just clap. I'm gonna just make a cheer. I'm gonna just do a cheer. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna apply for myself. Apply myself on the back. But yes, hold on. I gotta find it. Where's that thing? Sound effects. Where's the logo? Hold on. I ain't got nothing. But yes, got all that. Got all that in the works. Still doing some other stuff, so I'm gonna be busy a lot. Got a few shows I'm doing. Music might be coming soon, so you can check me out on my other page for music coming. But that's all I got so far. Again, let me know what you think. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. And then until next time, I'm gone. Peace.